You stop waiting for someone to choose you. You stop checking your phone every few minutes. You stop rehearsing conversations in your head. You stop wondering what you could have said differently. And at first, it doesn't feel empowering. It feels like something is missing. But over time, it starts to feel like peace. Because when you stop needing to be chosen, something deeper begins to reorganize inside you. Your attraction changes, your standards change, your nervous system changes, and the entire way you relate to love begins to shift. A lot of people think they're looking for love, but what they really are looking for is selection. They want to be picked, wanted, chosen over everyone else. And there's a difference. Love is mutual. It's chosen by both people. Selection is one-sided. It's about being picked by someone you've already decided is worth more than you. Because somewhere along the way, being chosen became proof of worth. If this person wants me, if they want to commit to me, if they stay, then I must be enough. So without realizing it, attraction becomes a performance. You start editing yourself, trying to be more interesting, more easygoing, more desirable, less emotional, less complicated. You try to become the version of yourself you think they would choose. And the problem with that is you stop asking a very important question. Do I even choose them? When being chosen becomes the goal, you lose your center. You lose your choice. This pattern usually doesn't start in dating. It starts much earlier. In environments where love felt conditional, where attention had to be earned, where approval was inconsistent. Maybe you were praised for being good, pretty, smart, helpful, athletic, but not necessarily for just being yourself. So your nervous system learned something very specific. Love is something you earn. Connection is something you perform for. And being chosen is a form of emotional safety. So later in life, you don't just want someone, you want someone who feels hard to get, a little distant, a little unpredictable, a little unsure about you. Because if you can get that person to choose you, it doesn't just feel like love. It feels like emotional victory, like survival, like proof that you're finally enough. And that doesn't feel like insecurity. It feels like chemistry. At some point, something starts to shift. Usually after enough disappointments, enough emotional exhaustion, or one relationship that really breaks the illusion. You start to realize how much of your own energy has gone into being chosen. And you begin to ask a different question. How do I actually feel in this connection? And that's the turning point. Because when you stop needing to be chosen, three things begin to happen. Shift one. Your attention comes back to yourself. You start noticing your own body again. Do I feel relaxed around this person or anxious? Do I feel open or tense? Instead of obsessing over whether they like you, you start noticing whether you actually feel good with them. Shift two. Attraction becomes information, not destiny. It becomes information, not destiny. Before, attraction felt like fate. If you felt that pull, that chemistry, that obsession, it meant something. It meant they were special. But now, attraction becomes data. It becomes divine intel. You start to see it as information about your nervous system, your history, your patterns. You get curious instead of consumed. Shift 3. You stop performing. You don't feel the same urge to over-explain yourself, shape-shift, or try to be the perfect version of yourself. You speak more honestly. You show up more simply. You let people see who you actually are. Because when you stop needing to be chosen, you stop auditioning for love. This shift isn't always glamorous. In the beginning, it can feel quieter. You might feel like you have fewer romantic prospects, fewer dramatic storylines, less emotional intensity. And sometimes that can feel like loneliness. But alongside that, right, something else appears. More peace, more clarity, more emotional space. You're not constantly analyzing someone else's texts. You're not riding emotional highs and lows. And the people who remain in your life tend to be more stable, more consistent, more real. You may have fewer options, but the ones that remain aren't projects. They're not potentials. They're not people you have to convince. They're people who actually are available to love you. I want to offer you a short reflection. Think of someone you've wanted to choose you. Someone whose attention felt very important. Now just notice your body as you think about them. Your chest, your stomach, your throat, your heart. Is there tension, a pull, a sense of urgency? Now imagine not needing their approval. Imagine standing in front of them exactly as you are, not trying to impress them, not trying to win them over, not trying to be chosen. Just being. Now notice what changes in your body. Is there more space, more steadiness, more breath? That feeling, even if it's small, that's the beginning of choosing yourself. This shift isn't about becoming cold or independent. It's not about saying, I don't need anyone. It's about something much more grounded. It's about relational dignity. You don't stop wanting love. You don't stop wanting connection. You just stop believing that your worth depends on one specific person choosing you. And when that happens, you stop treating rejection like evidence that you're not enough. You just start seeing it as information. Information that this person wasn't the right fit, that they weren't ready, that the timing was off, but not that you're unworthy. And something very interesting happens when that shift takes root. You become more attractive, more stable, more discerning. Because now, instead of trying to be chosen, you become someone who can actually choose. If this resonated with you, I'd be really curious to hear. When did you first realize you were trying to be chosen? And what changed when you started choosing yourself instead? You can feel free to share in the comments if that feels right for you. And I would absolutely love it if you would consider subscribing and becoming a part of the community. I would love to connect more with you, and I'd love to share more of these conversations with you. I'll also be starting Calm Focus Lives, which are co-working and co-creating live streams that I'll be running next Tuesday and Thursday. They'll be starting around 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, and we will do the Pomodoro method, which is the 25 work, 5-minute break, but we might be really flexible with that and do 20-minute work, 10-minute break. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it flows with who is in the chat and what everybody is wanting. And during breaks, I love to read poetry and other inspirational literature and just have a calm, chill time where we can co-regulate together. And it is a very nervous system informed workspace. So I hope to see you there. Definitely hit subscribe if you want to know when that's happening. Hit the notification bell if you want to know when that's happening. And once again, if this felt supported, please give me a like. That would really be so helpful to me, and definitely share with anybody that you think needs to hear this kind of guidance. And I'll see you in the next one.